Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Dallas Stars franchise mode here in NHL 20. So in last episode we had free agency and we started up the season, and we actually are off to a okay start. We're 500. We're like right at the bottom of the division, but the problem with our team right now seems to be offense. So we've been playing really good defensively, but we just don't score enough. As you can see, Lundell's leading us in points with 29 points in 37 games. We just don't have that one guy that could produce a lot of points, so we might have to make a trade in this episode to bring in some more offense just to get this team into the playoffs, because right now we're just kind of struggling a bit. I'll show you guys our player stats so far for the season, even though I did in last episode, just to give you guys a bit of a refresher. So as you can see, our goaltending situation right now, our goalies have been really fantastic by comparison to previous seasons. So we got Jaguar doing really well, just around 500, but like look at his save percentage and goals against. It's a lot better than what we had with Nabokov. Marty Turco's been pretty solid as a backup, but he's below 500. So I think it's just because of our offense that we're losing games. As you can see, Ozelin has been really good on the back end, but yeah, pretty much everybody else has not been as good. Like we have some good depth scoring, but we need to find that one guy that could bring in a lot of offense, because everybody's below point per game, and that's going to hurt us in the long run. So we might make a trade or not. I don't know. We'll simulate right to the trade deadline or around the trade deadline. That way we still have a chance to make maybe a trade for a good guy. And yeah, let's hope we could find our offensive touch a bit more down the stretch, because this team has been kind of dropping the ball lately. Like I think, yeah, we've been like kind of going back and forth. We had a 3-game losing streak here, which kind of set us back a bit, and then we lost 2 games recently. So hopefully we could start winning, and hopefully we find that offense we need, because that's our main problem right now with this team. Because like if we keep on playing good defensively like this, and then if we get a little bit of an offensive boost, we could be a pretty good team, I think, going into the playoffs. And there's a 5-2 win over Boston, so there's some good offense. Hopefully we can keep it up the rest of this month. Game against Pittsburgh, though, is a 3-1 loss. We're getting offered Hendrix Lapierre, a third and a fourth for first and the second. I don't think Hendrix Lapierre is that good offensively. I think he's more of a two-way forward, if I'm not mistaken. 28 years of age. He's a scoring forward. He's a two-way guy. I mean, he's been pretty good so far in Anaheim, but he's not really worth a first-round pick, in my opinion. So we're not going to trade for him. But yeah, this team looks like they're still going to simulate the same end. Our leading point man has gone down with an injury. Anton Lundell goes down with a concussion until February 8th. So that's actually not too long-term, though, which is lucky. Because if it was too long-term, then that would not be good for this team. Actually, it is long-term because we're in January only, right? Yeah, we're only in January, so it is for a month. We win 7-4, and then we lose 3-2. Yeah, this team is still kind of streaky. Like, I mean, we have good offensive games sometimes, but I don't know what this team is, why this team is struggling. 3-3 tie, game against Winnipeg. 3-1 loss. Okay, I think I might have to make some changes, because this team is not that far back, I think, of a playoff spot, but we're like kind of struggling still offensively. I mean, Lundell's actually almost point per game now, so he's kind of picked it up a bit since his injury. Or not since his injury, since before his injury. But we are currently 45 points is the last playoff spot with 4 more games played than us. So yeah, we could still easily catch up into that playoff spot. But we have to beat people like the Blackhawks, the Maple Leafs, and then also the Moose and the Canucks, and then maybe the Mighty Ducks. Damn it, this is a really tight playoff race this year. Do we want to make a trade already? I don't know. I would rather see some of the offers that the computer gives us first, because I don't really want to move out somebody like Heath Drake on like the second line, because he's been pretty solid. But I might have to if I wanted to bring in somebody that would be good offensively on that top 6. Like Mark Recchi was available, but he is getting old and he's probably going to retire soon. There's another tie with Boston and a win over Pittsburgh. So we're still continuing to go back and forth, it seems like. And game against Florida's another tie, so at least it's a point. And there's their other offer. So I'm not opposed to not doing this deal. I mean, a first and a second, and then you basically get a third round pick, so you're not giving up a whole lot, but you're also getting Mark Recchi for 1 year and Greg Johnson. The only problem is we're going to have to scratch players if we do a deal like this. Now, Mark Recchi has been fantastic, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's been really good. He's got 58 points this year in 49 games. He would be a really good pickup, and he fits our first line only, though, is the only problem. Greg Johnson, on the other hand, has been pretty solid, and he fits our second line. Like, if we did this, we would have to find a way to play some players. Like, I don't know. We'd probably put Johnson on the wing or Lundell on the wing. I don't know. Like, it almost doesn't really work for us. Like, we'd have to scratch. Well, we could play Franzen on the wing. We could scratch somebody like, who is it? Wells, I think. But that fourth line's been pretty solid, I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. I might just do this deal and then we have at least the depth, but we'd have to send down a lot of players, which is the only problem. Like, let's see, we have right here 5 players, 6, 7, 8 roster players, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then we have 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 and 20. So we'd have to send down like, yeah, we'd have to send down like, who would we have to send down? Our depth guys at the moment, which are, who is our depth guys? Yeah, we'd have to probably send down like Mertens, and I don't know who the other one is that I'm missing out on, but I don't know if it really makes sense. I mean, Mark Recchi would be okay to bring in on his own, but bringing in Greg Johnson as well doesn't really make much sense. So if we were to trade for Mark Recchi, though, we'd have to probably give up like a second round pick, maybe. I don't even know what we'd have to give up. Like, I'm debating bringing him in. Second round pick, yeah, would probably work for Mark Recchi straight up. And he's been really good. Like, I don't know if we would be able to play him on the power play is the only problem. I just don't know why Philadelphia wants to give him up because they have such a great record. Probably because they're listed as hopeful. Like, I could definitely do this, but like at the same time, I don't know who I'm gonna scratch. I might scratch Wells or somebody on the fourth line and then kind of just rejuggle the lines. Yeah, you know what? We're going to do this. I think we need that offensive guy. Mark Recchi's been fantastic. I don't know if he's going to be good with us. But yeah, let's bring him in for 1 year. Maybe give us a chance to win a Stanley Cup. And that's rejected. Sweeten the pot a bit. Okay. Well, we'll do a second and a seventh then. That should be able to get it done easily. And that is still rejected. Offer a tad bit more. Okay, so a second and a sixth. I'm fine with giving up picks as long as it's not our first rounder. Rejected still. Damn. Okay, you want a fifth or a fourth probably then. We do have 2 fourths, so we might be able to do one. And a fifth is accepted. So second and a fifth for Mark Recchi. I think that's a good deal. Let's stop the simulation and edit our lines. We do just win that one 4-1, so Mark Recchi wasn't in the lineup, though. That Mark Recchi is now going to be our leading point man, but hopefully he could produce with us, a team that's been struggling for offense. Okay, so I'm going to re-edit these lines, and then I'll see you guys up here in a second with our new-looking team. Okay, guys, so our lineup is set. So now we got Recchi with Wong and Clancy's the top line, Sadora and Martinson and Holwig. Martinson's obviously the depth guy that's going to be replaced by Lundell. And then Drake, Medano, and the other Drake, and Ewan, Franzen, and Knights. So our team looks pretty good. I mean, it's unrealistic playing an 83 on the fourth line, but we're going to do that this year and try and cheese the system a bit. And our defense looks pretty solid as usual, and goaltending has stayed the same. So our depth right now is Taze, Perot, and Wells. So Wells is going to be probably one of those guys we put into the lineup when there's an injury. He's only listed as a depth forward, and he's not been the most fantastic player on that fourth line since we brought him in. He's a career minus 18. So, yeah, I think that should make us a bit better of a defensive team as well. And yeah, hopefully Mark Recchi produces with the Dallas Stars. Because if not, then we are in trouble. We're actually in the wildcard spot now, which is kind of weird with that record. But yeah, let's see how Mark Recchi simulates in Dallas, and hopefully he pushes us to a playoff spot. Like I said in last episode, Mark Recchi actually won a Stanley Cup in his final season with the Boston Bruins, so maybe he could win it in this season if it is his final year. So Jack Nash, the coach of the Russian Cosmonauts, has been fired. Okay. No, I do not need a Hendricks lap here. I don't really have room for all these forwards. Like, I don't know why they're offering me this when, like, my team is already pretty solid. We lose our first game with Recchi 4-3, and Ozolinsh has been injured, but at least it's not too long term. He's only missing, like, a one game because of the All-Star break. Still wish the All-Star game was in this. Game against Edmonton is a 5-2 win, though, so there's some good offense from our team. And Lundell should be also back within the next week or so, I think. But yeah, Ozolinsh is having a pretty solid season, at least when I last checked. Like, he had 26 points. So, let's put him back in. How's he been up there, actually? +8. Yeah, he's got 15 goals and 15 assists. He's been pretty solid. I'm glad I signed him a couple years ago. We're not in the wildcard spot anymore, but we probably have games in hand still. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so we're 20, 19, and 10. This is a really weird season simulation. If we just squeak into the playoffs, maybe we have a better chance of actually winning the cup, though, because obviously when you simulate well, it's not that great. So yeah, let's go right to the trade deadline, and we might make some more trades depending on how our team is. I don't know. I don't really want to move anybody on the team, though, because I'm kind of attached to some of them. Like Mike Modano, I don't want to let go of, because obviously we want to win a Stanley Cup with him. So, and Lundell is back, which means we're going to have to send down a player to the AHL, which in this case is going to be Perreault, who's a 77. He might get claimed, but we'll send him down anyways. And he didn't get claimed. The reason I didn't send down the others is because we have like 3 depth forwards otherwise. So, and Lundell's going to go right back into the lineup. And hopefully with Lundell back, that also gives that line a bit of a boost. Okay, let's go down to the HL quickly, and we're going to take out Hargrave. No, Hargrave's got potential. Streets, kind of just not going to be anything. Same with Ekman Larson. Let's take out Ekman Larson and put in Perreault down there, just to give that team a little bit more of an offensive boost. And yeah, we lost 5-0. No, that's not a good game. St. Louis is offering us some guys, but I don't really see the roster space for it. And yeah, Lundell's fully healed, but he's already in our lineup, which is good. Come on, boys. You need to win games down the stretch. We need to make the playoffs this year. Because I didn't bring in Jaguar and stuff like that to miss the playoffs. Like, we should be a playoff team with the roster we have. We're going to offer a defenseman, a third and a fourth for a second and a fourth. No, thank you. I mean, I already have a solid defensive core. I could upgrade the top 6 a bit, but we've been good defensively, so... There's a trade, but I almost said Detroit because of Detroit. Andreas Dackel and John Slaney head to there, and Koskinen and a third head to Pittsburgh. No, thank you. Wow, that's a lot of players to trade me to, Boston. I don't know why teams offer so much players to me when I clearly don't want to send down players. We're kind of struggling a bit here, which is not good. I might have to rejuggle the lines. 4-2 win over Toronto. Come on, boys. We need to make the playoffs. Anything less is kind of a bummer. There's a win over Ottawa. A first in Fitzgerald for Antonio Strings, Adamski, and Sutton. That's not a bad offer either, but I don't really feel like giving up our first and especially one of our best offensive prospects, I think. I'm pretty sure Fitzgerald is. A first in Zanin for Mironov, a third and a third. That's not bad either. I would upgrade our defense, but giving up our first is still questionable at this stage because we're not technically in a playoff spot yet. And Shane Reed is on waivers. Who is this dude? 77 top 6 defenseman. Not bad. How's he been in the NHL? He has not played in the NHL yet. Not a bad player, but I'm not going to claim him. But yeah, this team is struggling a bit. I might have to make some line changes quickly. Second and a third for a third in Brisebois. No, thank you. And a 3-0 win over St. Louis. That's pretty good. And a 5-1 win over Chicago. So 2 great defensive games and some solid offensive ones, actually, too. But then we lose to Finland. Yeah, this team is still really inconsistent. I'm hoping after the trade deadline is where we start winning a lot of games. Sloan, Clifford, and Richter head to Edmonton for Bergeron in a fourth. I don't know what Bergeron that is because it's not obviously, damn, I'm completely blanking out. I don't know what I was going to say anyways, but okay. Oh, man, I'm overtired as heck. Anyways, Holly and Richter for Coral, Eugans, and Eddie. Okay, there's another trade. I don't know if we're going to look at all the trades around the league because most of the blockbuster ones are the more important ones. But yeah, this team is really weird how we simulate. Keith Primo heads to Quebec for a prospect, a second, a third. And they also give up a fourth, though. Or get a fourth. Perrin and Bremberg for Matvichuk and Ladipov. So Matvichuk heads to Buffalo, our former defenseman. And game against Chicago. Come on, guys. Get me a dub. I don't know why this team's under-simulating. Antonio Strange in a third for a first, and Johansson. Okay, and we win against Chicago again. So we're winning against teams that we need to win against. And we're currently just a bit out of the playoff spot right now. I don't know why this team is simulating so bad, though. 26, 26, and 10. So last wildcard spot has 66 points, which is only 4 points above us. We have one game below the Oilers, so we could still technically make it, but I don't know what this team's problem is. Let's take a quick look at our lines, see what lines have been minus, and then maybe we can make some changes. How has Recchi been with us so far? 3 assists in 15 games? Oh my god, man. Okay, he does not fit our top line in. We're going to go back to Sidor and stuff. Yikes, I don't know if making a trade for Recchi was that good. He had a fantastic simulation with Philadelphia. He comes here, he just not that good. I don't know if he was on the power play there. I could put him on our power play instead of Drake, but I don't know. Let's go back to our lines again quickly. What could we do? Yeah, I don't know why this team is simulating so weird. Dallas Drake's been actually really good. So, you know what? We're going to move Dallas Drake there. Put Recchi as our third liner. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Because Dallas Drake's been really quiet, but really good. And anybody that's really badly minused on the forward core. No, we've been really good defensively still. Which is weird, but we're just not scoring enough or something. Yeah, our defense has been pretty solid, except for Markov has been a minus. And in goalie situation, Jaguar's goals against went up. I mean, he is simulating the best of his careers, so who knows. And Marty Turco has been really good still as a backup. And yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I'll just run with these as our lines instead and see how that helps us out. Because, like, I mean, Mark Recchi has been doing nothing, so putting him on the third line should be good. But, like, we need to start winning games down the stretch because this team should be a playoff team easily, but we're not right now for some reason. I mean, we have solid goaltending, we have solid offense and defense, and we're listed as a champion. So let's continue the simulation and see if we can make the playoffs and if we could finally find that offense. As our offensive defenseman in the AHL has been injured with a broken foot, which is not good. He's our medium elite prospect down there. So a 2-2 to Toronto Maple Leafs, I'll take that over a loss, but we need wins. Let's go right till the 18th of March. I think that's around St. Patrick's Day, if I'm not mistaken. We do win 2 games in a row, which is great. Come on, boys. We need to make the playoffs. There's 3 straight wins. Okay, maybe we are going to be good in the month of March. So, Rangers have fired their coach. Okay. Okay, now this team is winning games in a row, and then we lose to Sweden. Game against Russia is another win. Okay, yeah, now we're winning down the stretch. This is the most important time of the year, and we're coming in with some wins. And, of course, as I say that, we lose 2 straight games. Yeah, this team is still really kind of inconsistent. Hopefully when we get to the playoffs, we can be a bit more consistent if we get there. 2 more games. There's another loss. 3 straight losses. Not good. And a tie. We're still kind of struggling a bit. 75 points in 74 games. And Edmonton, or the Moose, the Oilers, both are 2 points back of us. And same with the Blues. So we have to watch out for the Blues, the Oilers, and Sweden. Okay, let's continue the simulation. I'm not going to make line changes because I can believe in this team. Come on, boys. We need wins, especially against those teams, especially here against St. Louis, because they might be one of those teams that try and catch up late. Game against the Islanders is another loss. God damn it, guys. Aiden Patrick's back for the AHL. That's good. I don't know if the AHL team's in the playoffs or not, because I haven't really kept much tabs on them. There you go. Also, I don't think I mentioned, but this Pavelski guy we signed in free agency is growing really well. He's actually listed as a top 6 defenseman already, and he was literally a free agent signing. Like, he's an undrafted player, and he's playing really well in the AHL. I'm really excited for him. But yeah, we're probably going to have him next season, and we lose again. Damn, okay, now that we started that month off really good, we're just really struggling. Okay, we need to make some line changes again for these last few games in order to get us into the playoffs, hopefully. Because we only got 6 games left. Who's been struggling? Has anybody been struggling? Third line? I don't know which lines are struggling or not. Because we're on a losing streak. Maybe I will put, split up Helmer and Oslunch, and then make it Soleil and Oslunch, and then put it Helmer and Lindback for something different. And Jaguar's getting better, which is good. Marty Turco is getting worse. That's just not good. Okay. Hopefully those little subtle changes help us out, because we have been this team is so weird. 2-6-2 in our last 10. We were literally on a winning streak to start this month, and I'm like, oh yeah, well, this team is definitely a playoff team now. We literally won, we won 4 in a row, and then 5 of our last 6, and then all of a sudden, after that tie, we just have not won since, which, especially down the stretch, is not a good thing to do. So let's go these 2 games left of this month, and then hopefully we are closer to being in a playoff spot by then. Game against Quebec. 7-2 loss, and then we win 2-1 over Ottawa. We're in the wildcard spot still, even though this team has been struggling, which is kind of weird. Maybe we'll be that cheese team that somehow squeaks in and then wins. I would hope for that at least. Okay, let's go 2 more games. We got St. Louis and Germany. Come on, boys, we need those wins, especially here and as a tie. Okay, and an OT win. Whoever scored that overtime winner, you might have saved our chances at missing the playoffs, or making the playoffs, I mean. 80 points. The other 2 teams are 2 points back. Yeah, this is going to be right down to the last game probably. So yeah, let's go this game and see if we clinch. Game against Hartford. And Connor Clancy's been injured. Damn, that's our top liner. Who are we going to replace him with? Are we going to put Recchi back up there? Yeah, let's put Recchi there. Why not? I mean, he was seemingly good in Philadelphia, so might as well give him a better shot here. And we'll put in Wells here. Okay, so our lineup is set. So now we got Recchi back on the top line, and Wells is just going to be the replacement. Okay, so I was just actually having a quick look in the top line. At least Wong and Sidor are both minus, which is a bit of a problem. I don't know why they're minus if they're on the penalty kill. I don't think they are. But yeah, they might have been the top line that's been the liability for us in terms of goals against. But yeah, man, I don't know why this team is so 500-ish. Hopefully we win this game. 7-2. We got 1 game left, and I don't know if we can make it now, which is not good. Let's see, 80 points in 81 games. Most we could get is 82 points. The last playoff spot has 80 points currently in the Pacific. So if we win this game, we make the playoffs. And we also have to hope for a Sweden loss, I think. Yeah, we have to hope for a Sweden loss. So let's advance today to that Calgary game. If we miss the playoffs, I'm going to be pissed off, kind of. Helmerson's back in the AHL, but I don't think he was ever injured. And okay, the Moose still have their game. They must have it today. So it comes down to this. I don't know if we're gonna if we make the playoffs or not. We have to rely on the Sweden game as well. Hopefully they lose their game. But we're gonna go into a real-time simulation for this last game, because why not? See how this team real-time simulates, because they don't simulate well with the calendar, it seems like. See if we could get a win here at the end of the season, and then hopefully we make the playoffs. And damn Foo scores. God damn it, Jaguar. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with this team. We're down 2-0 now in this first period. We're going to miss the playoffs because this team just could not score goals. which it was something we were able to do earlier on, like in the last few years, but since like Medano's dropped down and stuff like that, and overall because of his age, this team has just not been the same. We're down 3-0 after one. The chances are slim for us to make the playoffs now. Helmer gets us back on the board. I mean, we could still technically make it, though, as I think if Sweden loses. But we'd have to get at least a point in this. And that's looking unlikely. We're down 4-1. I don't know why Shigeru just all of a sudden pooped the bed down the stretch. Damn, yeah, I think we're going to miss the playoffs. Yep, we're definitely going to. Theo Fleury makes it 5-1. Like, our team just completely struggled near the end. Like I said, we had that really good stretch at the start of March, and then all of a sudden the team's just like, you know what, we shouldn't make the playoffs this year. I mean, maybe we'll win the draft lottery, who knows, but it really sucks because we brought in Mark Recchi trying to give us some more offense, and we're going to lose 5-2 in the final game of the season to the Calgary Flames. 3 stars, all Flames, okay. But yeah, this has been a really disappointing season. 33, 35, and 14, and we missed by only a couple points. This team has consistently been like a bit of a weird team, though. Because, like, last few years we've made it to like the first round, we just can't get by there, and then we've also missed the playoffs a couple of times because this team, even though we have good overalls, we don't make the playoffs. Like, our team looks pretty solid on paper. Like, look at this team, it looks not that bad. I mean, our weakness could be technically maybe our fourth line or in this part and here, and actually with Wells in the lineup instead of who whenever went down. But oh yeah, it was Clancy. Yeah, maybe that injured to Clancy actually did that. But I mean, our defense looks pretty good too. Maybe our top 4 could use some work a bit. Yeah, and then our goaltending situation is good. I don't know why we missed the playoffs, honestly. But if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. Let's take a quick look at player stats, and then we will probably end the episode here. I don't think we'll do draft lottery results and all that in this episode because it's already been a bit of a long one because of that trade we made. But yeah, let's see how players did. So Mark Recchi with us, 16 points in 35 games, and he was a -11. Yeah, he was not a good acquisition to bring in. I mean, he was really good in Philadelphia, but then he just did not do as well here at all. So I'm kind of bummed that I brought him in. Sidor was not too bad, 63 points, but a down year, I think, for him. Yeah, he went down in points by 7 points, and he was a -3. Trevor Wong is kind of a really streaky player. Like, he had 100 points a few years ago, down to 71, then up to 88, then down to 63. And I think it's a contract year. Yeah, it's a contract year for him, so he's probably not going to want as much, but who knows. Whole pretty solid first season for him with us. But yeah, still this team kind of struggled a bit in terms of offense. Lundell 58 points, Clancy 54, Dallas Drake 48. Heath Drake had 1 goal and 47 assists for 48 points. Imagine scoring 1 goal in 82 games but putting up that much assists. That's crazy. Ozolinch 44 points, Medano 38 and -3. Yeah, that's probably our main reason for our offense struggling is Medano just dropped down in overall, and he could retire this year. Only 38 points, down from how many points last year? From 54. Yeah, he's been down on the decline a bit. Lindback 30 points, Franzen 22, etc. But yeah, this team, I don't know what our problem is right now. Hopefully when we get those OFDs in the minors into the system like Pavelski and Patrick, that hopefully they produce in the NHL. I mean, our goaltending was better than it has been in previous years, I think, but both of them were like 500 and below 500 goalies, which is weird. So we definitely need to find that good offensive player at the draft. Let's take a quick look at the entire league because this episode's already probably running long. Eric Lindros had 126 points. Wow. That's the most I've seen a player get, I think, in a franchise mode. But yeah, that's an insane season from Eric Lindros and the Flyers. Kozlov 121 points, Pavel Bure 112. Damn. A lot of 100-point players, well, at least a couple. And yeah, Lindros also will win the Richard with 64 goals. As for defensemen, 75 points this year from Nicholas Lidstrom. He's going to probably win the Norris. Scott Niedermayer right behind him, and Kimo Timonen actually up there as well. Goaltending situation, let's see how goalies did. Nabokov had the most wins. Are you kidding me? Why is the simulation so dumb? I literally don't simulate well with Nabokov, and I give him to another team, and then he simulates really well with them. It makes no logical sense. Like, no matter what, if I don't trade him, if I would have kept him, he would not have produced like this. But he gets traded, and he produces really well. Like, this is actually kind of a joke. Like, how do you go 25, 18, and 1? Well, actually, that's pretty good. But, like, how does he play that good with the Islanders? Like, he's probably going to shit the bed in the playoffs, knowing him. But, damn. I am really bummed with that. If he wins the friggin' Vezina after we trade him, oh, damn, that will rile me a bit. Osgood right behind him as well wins. He also led the league in shutouts, and save percentage-wise by a starter was Nabokov again. Yeah, Nabokov's probably going to win the Vezina. Yeah, Nabokov's going to win the Vezina. The year after we trade him, of course. Maybe that team is just better defensively there, but still, like, holy crap. So Roman Turk actually also had 5 assists. Damn, I was thinking of bringing him in as a backup instead, but... And he signed in St. Louis where he did in real life, which is kind of funny. And then in terms of the rookie skaters, who did best for rookies, it was Legacy, 59 points, and then Saunders, 55. And let's take a quick look at the standings to see what we did well and what we did bad, which most of the stuff is probably bad. So entire league, Detroit finished first. Realistic, I guess. Goals for per game, we were probably one of the worst. Yeah, let's just actually sort the opposite way. Yeah, we were one of the worst offensive teams in the league. We were still above Boston, New Jersey, Chicago, the Rangers, Russia, and Tampa Bay, but we still struggled a lot. Only 240 goals this year. And in goals against per game, we were one of the better defensive teams still. Top 10, but still not good enough. Like 240 goals for, 238 against. We need to play a bit better offensively for sure. And our power play really struggled this year as well, so that might have been our main problem. 16.9%. And our penalty kill was also pretty bad at 79 point something. Or was it? So our special teams were not good. Yeah, 79.5. So we were only really good defensively 5-on-5, but the rest of the time we just struggled. Okay, so I think that's going to do it. Let's actually advance one day just so we could show you guys the playoff tree. And yeah, then that'll be it for this episode. Just so we could see who's in the playoffs and who's not. You wanted us to win the President's Trophy, but we failed, damn it. Okay, so here is the playoff tree. So Calgary and Winnipeg, LA and San Jose, Detroit and Sweden, and Toronto and Germany. As for the East, you got the Islanders and the Caps, the Flyers and the Finland Brown Bears, Montreal and Florida, and Buffalo and Ottawa. So I don't know who out of these teams will win the Stanley Cup. I'm going to give my predictions and say Philadelphia or maybe Detroit. Yeah, if it's a Philly and Detroit Stanley Cup Finals, that'd be kind of cool. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Dallas Stars franchise mode. So next episode, we will take it to the draft. And yeah, we're going to probably keep a lot of this team together, but we also want to find some new young talent that could give our offense a bit of a boost, because right now that's our main problem. So let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.